Anne is now going to sing Grateful with Olga. Thank you. I'm going to just, as Anne is setting up, say that this song was written by Rosabella Gregory. She wrote the music, and her identical twin sister, Dina Gregory, wrote the lyrics.
Thank you for saying that, because when I saw that in the music, I thought, is that her mother, or I didn't know.
Yeah, it was interesting to me how much the two of them have collaborated, and obviously they have a bond as twins. And they wrote this for Shivika Sinha, who is a woman out in the West Coast in California who's just done a tremendous amount to support women. So our honorees are not always the big names. I mean, we certainly have had the privilege of honoring people like Malala and Hillary Clinton, but we also are very interested in honoring women who maybe are more unsung heroes. And in this case, Shivika's song, we're gonna look at the lyrics. It's all about her journey, and she went through quite a bit. So let's listen closely to the lyrics. Thank you, Anne.
And Anne, I should ask you, do you want the mic to try this?
Not really.
Yeah, I think you're okay with that.
Yeah.
a hard one to memorize. Because there's so many lyrics. So can you tell me a little bit about what's happening in the first verse versus the second verse?
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about this yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
but she's just telling different stories about different parts of her life. So the first part is talking about her childhood before there were all of these burdens of growing up and being a person in the world, and the second verse is more about things that she struggled with, like illness.
Yes, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
That's where I was going. So let me ask you, Anne, do you have any friends in the audience?
Yeah.
Is there one young lady who is a friend in the audience?
Most of them.
Okay, because what I want to do is, can you identify someone who's going to come and who's going to sit right here? Yeah, and then I want you to identify someone else who's going to go and sit on the other side. Because I want you to tell them the story of what's going on.
Oh.
So just go ahead and pick 2 people, or shall I look for volunteers?
No,
All right. Excellent. This song can be very long, right? Because there's so much going on. So I think you guys probably identified, and Olga, I have to say, you really played this extremely well. Wow. Yeah, you were getting into it. It was really good. I understand. So when you have these oohs, like at the beginning, right? That's gonna be you. That's gonna be Anne. When you're telling the story, can you tell part 1, 2, tell me your name? Celia. Celia gets to hear the first verse. And then, tell me your name?
Stella.
Stella gets to hear the second verse. Do you want to sit down?
No,
Are you
I'm
more
okay.
comfortable? Okay, and part of this is because it's such a long song to focus your energy, right? Do you look at the music? Do you look out? Where do you look? What do you do? So I really want you to visualize, okay, I'm going to talk to my friend here, and you just happen to be singing, but think of it as though you were talking, yeah? Let's try that. Okay, wow. Wow, that is a world of a difference for me, because now I feel like I'm seeing a communicator, and before I felt like I was watching a singer. And to me, the difference between the two is night and day, and ultimately I strive to be a communicator. Like, that's where I want to go, and you just did that beautifully. I think you know your text. If you need a word, look at me and I'll mouth it to you if I remember. So just leave the book alone. Now, when you're doing the oohs at the beginning, what is that about? What do those oohs mean to you?
I think like if the verses are communicating your story to the world, the oohs are thinking about it to yourself and reflecting.
Can you do the oohs to Olga? Yeah? Let's just try it. It's like a duet with the piano.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love that you looked at your other friend.
I
Tell me
wasn't
the
sure
name.
what you meant by verse 2.
No, well, verse 2 is coming later, but to me, like, when I see that, I'm like, that's such a sign of empathy. Like, she wanted to include this other person on the stage. That's good stagecraft right there. Now, I want to try something with you, Anne, and I hope it's not controversial, but it's just an experiment, and it's just in our circle. Because of the range of the song, and I know you're used to singing higher, can you just try this beginning after the ooze with the mic for me?
Just try it. You might need it, and I'm not saying that you have to do this. But remember how I said to everybody you should try both ways just to experiment? Just try that. Oh, wait, after the ooze. Sorry. You've done this so beautifully. After the ooze.
Oh, after the ooze. So like when I was young.
Exactly.
Sorry.
It feels funny, doesn't it? It's okay. It's okay. We get it.
When I was young and my window on the world was as shifting as a bottle drifting oceans with the tide, stories were free from the mountains to the fields, ever growing all around me to be watered, to be known.
See, the thing is, then all of a sudden I feel like it releases the pressure
Yeah.
that you have to create volume in a range that is not necessarily your most comfortable range. And it's an awkward range for any of us who sing classically. So what did that feel like for you?
Like, I felt like I think about the words more and
Yes.
not, like, try and project.
Yes, and that is exactly how I felt from it. Can we go from, is it Heroes Come in Many Sizes, this one, or is that the second one?
The first one.
Sorry, can you do the light on?
Oh, so I see here. Okay, got it. Sorry.
Still.
Yes, just keep trying. Play with it. You can play with it this way. This is your
Okay.
first experiment.
Heroes come in many sizes. Life is littered with surprises. Now I find I'm grateful for me. I'm thankful for the lens it lent me. We are one, falling like the rain, different and the same, and always falling.
Yeah. I'm really interested in how it feels for you because again, there's no right or wrong here. You could be in the right situation to do with the mic and in the right situation to do without the mic. But I think the question is where you feel more comfortable and can you have the experience of doing both? So tell us a little bit about what that's like for you.
I felt like the verses were easier with the mic, but when it got to the refrain, I felt kind of scared of like.
Of how much volume.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Can we do, there's another ooh section that's a lower ooh. Is that the one that's coming up?
That's the middle one though, that's the one I don't.
Not the one that goes way high.
Oh.
Right, the one that's there.
The last one?
Yeah.
Is this the last one, Olga, or the?
No, it's not the last one. Are you wanted the last one?
No, I was asking.
wonderful department with great teachers. So this is the safe time to try what it sounds like with a mic, to see what these things feel like, you know, so that when you do get up, even if it's at a karaoke or, you know, something like that, you go, oh, okay, I know how to do this. I know how this goes. It's all about building confidence. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you to our actors also.